Okay, so we're gonna just go further with bar chords and take a moment just to contemplate what we've done so far. And the gateway to those bar chords is the F chord. And this is a good point to really just, I'm remembering now when I first started playing, like the amount of time that it took me to get the F chord and the bar chord thing happening. I think for me, it was, my memory of it, it was something like 6 months before I kind of realized, oh wow, I'm just doing this and it's not really stressing my hand out and kind of hurting. It took me a while. So if you're coming up against physical challenge with these bar chords and your stamina for playing them seems short, it's just part of building up the strength and these small little muscles in your hand that just have to be developed, you know? So you're developing strength and you're developing your ability to play these chords, you know, in a relaxed fashion, and in a way that doesn't hurt. You've also got your calluses developing, like, so all this is coming together at the same time. And I'm just urging, you know, give yourself the time, whatever time it's going to take, to make this all come together. And it's another reminder that it's as much about how often you pick up the guitar. It's not about practicing long hours. You know, it's more about little intentional, mindful installments of practice. And even if that means like you just pick up the guitar, play a couple bar chords or a couple F chords, play through your chords, learning more about switching between them, right? Getting used to that. You just do that as often as you really can sustainably do it, even if it's for short installments. And there's just a little bit about practicing that I think is good, has worked for me. And my little phrase I always say, it's not how much, it's how often you practice. So with that in mind, give yourself some latitude, you know, that this could take it's going to take the amount of time it's going to take before you get comfortable with it. And when we move into bar chords, from the F chord area, you don't, you know, take the time to get there before you really start trying to do too much and get in a situation where you get where there's any discouraged energy happening, because that's not where you want. You just take it to the edge and then back off. Take it to the edge, back off. You're building strength. There's no substitute for just allowing the muscles and the tiny little structures in your hand and in your technique to just develop. And the flexibility in your wrist, I mean, it actually takes some, you know, to be able to play this stuff. I mean, you see where my hand position is. There's like a significant, I guess I call it a break in my wrist. I mean, my wrist is really used to doing this now after many years. But for most people, that's something that takes some work. So a few words about that. Before we dive into a little bit more detail with what's going on with these bar chords and the idea of moving them around. So let's take a real quick review of the F. Now, one thing I think I kind of touched on it, but I do want to reiterate that your F chord, that's 5 strings of an F chord. You really can get away with just playing 3 strings of an F chord, and you could finger it like that. So here's your do, mi, so. All right? This chord, just those 3 notes, and I'm muting. Of course, if I want to strum, I'd have to mute. Now, it's a very thin sounding chord. There's not a lot of meat there because there's only 3 notes, and they're kind of in the upper mid range of the of the notes on the guitar. We don't have any of the girth of our low F, or even that C note now. But this little triad does work, and you can play it like this, where you've got your pinky and then second and first finger, or you can play it like this. And this too is movable. And really, this is just like part of a E chord. All right, so the E and the F, remember, these guys are related. I think of them, they're in the same drawer in my mind.